Hi there. Welcome to my channel. This is Darcy and this is Darcy's No, it's not Misadventures with Mixed Media anymore. It's just Darcy's Mixed Media. Why did I do that, you ask? To make it easier on you people. That was just a long title to have to remember, and I think Darcy's Mixed Media is just going to be so much more simple. Plus, I'm thinking about getting a domain name, and for that, just doing Darcy's Mixed Media is going to be much easier as well. So that's why I've changed it, not to confuse you guys or anything, just to make it simpler and easier to remember. So in this video, everyone was home, so I was just recording and letting noise happen, and then I went ahead and sped it up a little bit and figured I'd do a voiceover. Oh, and if you watch Gail Augustinelli's Etsy shares, you've seen these. So these are some hidden journal spots, and I'm trying to make them a little bit easier. Like Shell makes them, and she does them the way I originally made them. Well, no, actually the way I came up with after. I think this was sort of like, this wasn't the original way that I did them, the way I'm doing it now, but this is a really simple way. I just cut the paper down long way. So like the 11-inch side, no, the 8.5-inch side, I cut to 4 1/4. And then I just folded up the bottom for a pocket and folded down the top down to just about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. So it will go into the pocket well, and then around the edges. And then I just took this little piece of paper and glued it over around the edges so that it would become a pocket. I think I added like a piece of washi tape later and something else. But this is like the simplest way to do it. And here I'm using some washi tape. So I don't know if you saw me fold them. Sorry if you didn't. I think I folded one. So I've got the pocket at the bottom. I just folded that up. I think I folded the top over a little bit just to give a little stability to the pocket itself. And now gluing, making sure the washi tape will stay on the back. Just glue that over, and that makes my pocket. And then I just folded that over, I don't know, you can cut it off if your tape is too long. Not everybody has tape that wide. And then, cut off the corners, cut off some of that bulk, just glued that down. Because that's going to get glued onto the page anyway, so it doesn't matter what the back looks like. So you open it up and you have some journaling spot, but it just looks like a pocket. So you can just stick something in the pocket and, looks like a pocket, but you've got some journaling inside. So that's an easy way to do it. So for those of you that haven't quite figured out how Shell does it with the more difficult way I figured out how to do it, this is the easy version, which I think she actually did come up with sort of an easy version like this. Like she just folded it over and then added the pocket from a different, we just throw stuff around, from a different page. And here I'm doing something similar. I'm just not getting the height she was getting. She was trying to get more height is why she was doing it that way. So I just took a piece of book page that goes across the bottom and just make sure I have enough so it folds around the edge, and that's where you get your pocket. That helps make the pocket, that paper folded over the edge. So that's the super easy Darcy pocket. And then I'm just adding a little washi tape, because washi tape and book page, well, hopefully you'll see another video where I do something with that, but I might have recorded it. I might have merged them together backwards, and I don't know if I want to deal with fixing that or not. I don't know if I have the originals to fix that, actually. But when I started to try to do the voiceover for it, I'm like, wait a minute. This is not what it's supposed to be. Plus, there's a lot of collaging in it. So maybe in the next video that I make, I'll show you what I made. If I can find them. I don't know. They're here somewhere. So I'm sorry I haven't been around as much lately. It is tax season, which I'm not as busy as I used to be during tax season. What happened I used to work during tax season. So I would work, 8 to 11 hours a day, 7 days a week sometimes. And that was before I did YouTube. I would need a sip of my iced coffee. So, fortunately, YouTube and I started right around the time that my people that I work for moved. They moved to Kansas, but we still have clients here in Virginia. And so now what I do is I just go and, pick up some of the people's tax returns that don't want to mail them to Kansas, and I fax them, and then I either deliver them back to them or I mail them back to them, but at least they're staying in the same state. So that's what I do. So we've got a handful of clients that I am a liaison for, I guess. So this is, let's see, if you look at what I'm tearing up now, I'm just kind of making the pieces to send to Gail when I sent my Etsy share that she showed this past Sunday. Did I mention that? And that's the collage page that I was ripping up. And you'll see some other papers that were from the kit. So, and you see the whole kit at the end. So I like to have these background pages available for people as part of the kit, because you can use them. You can either print them on cardstock and make a tag or journal card or pocket or whatever, or you can use them in collage with some other pieces that you have, with some book pages and whatnot, or the collage page. So I've got a piece of parchment paper here, which is a little bit thicker, so it can work fairly well as a tag, especially once you collage it. So doing some collage, and yep, there you go. That's what happened to them. You'll notice that I can't find those two pieces that I just had, and that's because I just saw what I did. I just swept them to the side. I was like, where'd they go? I didn't find them for a while. I found them eventually, but yep, see, I'm looking for them now. I'm like, where'd they go? I had no idea. No idea that I didn't even remember that I just swept stuff to the right, because that's what I do. And did I clean my desk before I started this project? No, I still had stuff there from the previous project, the one that I referred to when I said I couldn't find the, that I recorded it backwards, I think. I don't know. We'll see if that one makes it or not. But like I said, that was just, I used, in the other video, was just using some envelopes and some book page and some washi tape to make pockets and whatnot. So, let's see. So, yep. So, I'm like, okay, well, can't find that. I'll use something else. So, I'm just collaging some pages. So, the way I made my digital kit is I've got 6 pages that are like decorative, like have like the pictures of the vintage finds, but also has some writing spots on them. I got that 1 page of collage. I've got 2 page of easy fussy cut, which you could decide which parts you want to fussy cut. If you want to fussy cut around the whole thing, or if you want to fussy cut a smaller part of it, or if you just want to even just fussy cut the actual image, whether it's a typewriter or whatever. I can't remember. This one had vintage finds, so it's not as much birds and stuff. Of course, the flowers are in the background, so they're a little harder. If you want, you couldn't really fussy cut those as easily, but you can fussy cut like right around the flower and the element if you wanted to. So yeah, I just wanted people to, I just kind of wanted to show, how cute it would look just using some book page and the decorative pages and the collage page for, making backgrounds for tags. And it's this one. See, you could just cut that out on cardstock and make it into a tag. But I just cut the part that was on the tag and put it on something else. So I just kind of wanted people to see that there's options with these little pieces that I send. I'm like, yes, you can just cut them out in a rectangle or whatever, you can use them as they are, or you can, do a little something different with them. A little old radio. I like that it was blue. It just seemed to go with the kit. I don't even remember if I used it on this tag or not. I was like, well, I was very wishy-washy that day, I think. I don't know. I was very, I wanted it to be perfect. And also I wanted to get it in the mail by 5 o'clock that day, so it would get there by Saturday. And then, of course, when I would check it, it was like, it was not going to get there till Monday. I'm like, what? And then finally it said it was going to get there on Saturday. All right. Sorry, you should see how my cat's looking at me. She's like, who are you talking to? And I just looked up and my cat was just looking at me. And she's looking out the window, so she's got lots to look at outside, but no, she had to look at me and be like, what you doing, lady? So here I cut out that little oval, but if you wanted to cut, I left the color around it, so if somebody wanted to, they could just cut the, oh my goodness, a rectangle and not have to fussy cut out the oval if they didn't want to. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I have to tell you, all right, my favorite page from this kit is the one that has those tulips and the sewing machine. The tulips and the typewriter. In fact, that's what I have as my background on Google. I like it so much. So, on this one, though, the background's different than what's on the page. I got some music there in the background. So, yep. So, just showing how one could use the fussy cut images. And then, you know, it's a lot easier to cut a couple leaves out on the edge. I think a couple more I cut off. I just left that one at the top. And that, oh, and then I probably could have put that typewriter over a little bit better so I didn't have to fussy cut out that tiny little piece, but it's still easier than cutting out a whole typewriter. Just saying. That's why I make them like easy fussy cut. It's still easier. It's easier than cutting out the whole typewriter. But if you wanted the typewriter cut out separate, you could, and figure out your own backgrounds and your own whatever. Then I have these words, but I don't want the decorative part, so I just cut that out, because that's what I do apparently. But those labels, if you like those labels, they are from Pink Monarch Prints. That's right? Yeah, Pink Monarch Prints. They are her vintage something. I can't remember. But if you look on there, you'll find lots of stuff you like, I think. She's got some good stuff in her shop, and her digitals and whatnot. So I've been extra busy this week. I've gone to a client. I started a part-time job. I'm doing bookkeeping a couple times a week for a few hours. So I did that Monday and Wednesday, and then I had to go pick up tax stuff from a client on Tuesday. And tomorrow I have 3 clients up in Springfield I'm going to pick up their tax stuff for. So today is the only day that I didn't have to go anywhere. I mean, I did go to the post office and the thrift store, but I could have sent my husband to drop the stuff at the post office if I wanted to. But I didn't mind that so much. That wasn't quite so exhausting as driving 20 minutes and working for a few hours, or driving 35 minutes and sorting through people's tax stuff, figuring out what it is we actually need. Especially if they don't have a copy of last year's tax return, so I have no idea of knowing exactly what we need. Oh my goodness. It is sad when people get old. And that's mostly the people that I'm working with around here are the older people that I help out. And but that's all right. They like me. They call me, what were they calling me? Oh, the symbol of the tax. It's a little tiny tax company that's owned and run by a married couple who are also my best friends. So I worked for them for about 20 years. Not quite. Let's see, Nathan's 21 now. And he was just a baby when I started working for them. And they moved in 2019. And that was the last year I worked for them, was 2019. Now I just do a favor for them and they send me a gift. So that's how we do it. In case IRS asks, they send me a gift and I do them favors. It just happens to coincide at the same time of the year. So, but now I'm going to have to pay estimates because that bookkeeping job that I'm doing is contract work. So I'll have to deal with the 1099-R and also pay my taxes and, prepay my tax, put in my taxes so that I don't owe penalties when I do my taxes next year. Fortunately, I know tax people that can help me make sure I do it all right. And then last year I actually made, I made enough on Etsy that I definitely have to put it on my tax return this year. But I definitely spent more money than I made, so that will all cancel itself out. I'm not sure if she'll put it on the hobby or the Schedule C yet. Because, if it all cancels out, it can go on the hobby. There's a hobby thing on taxes. I can't remember what it is. My friend knows all about it. Because we had an actor that he acted as a hobby but would also make money sometimes. but he had enough expenses to cover it, and he just wanted to make sure that the IRS knew where this money was coming from, and made sure everything was on the up and up. So that's what we do with my Etsy stuff too. But now that I am gonna hopefully sell more for the whole year, not just from September on, I may have to actually change things up next year. We'll see. I don't know. I think I'll still spend more than I make, because I try to do decent prices that people can afford, and I'm never going to make back the expense and the time. I mean, just processing, like doing the listing and processing the order alone is, that's basically what I'm getting paid for. I'm not getting paid for the time that I actually made it. Or I'm getting paid for the time I made it, but not getting paid for all the listing and processing part. There's a lot of work selling on Etsy, people. Just tell you right now. And if you start selling more stuff, like this week, thanks to Gail, and I am thankful. I am thankful for all the orders I've gotten this week. Of course, now I have to restock. And, and I want to make more digitals. Because my favorite thing to sell on my Etsy shop is the digitals. Because I don't have to do anything. I just hear cha-ching and I look and I'm like, okay, don't have to mail anything. Although I don't mind mailing stuff because I got those cute cards I made. Well, some of them have these ones have the old. I have, if you watched if you watched Gail's Etsy share this past Sunday, which would have been March 10, today's the 10th, 9, 8, 7, March 6th. 2022, her Etsy share. She does an Etsy share each Sunday. I sent her a copy of the digital, and I did. I printed both sides of the ones I knew she'd use as pages, which I think she appreciated. And I probably could have done the background pages on thinner paper because it's easier to collage with that. But I did do them on the 32-pound paper, and then when I do them as a printed version, I just print everything one-sided. But I need to put in the description that if you want the journal pages on the back side of the decorative pages, just send me a note and I can do it that way. So then I don't have to worry if it's like over a 1/4 inch thick or not. Trying to keep them, as flat mail. So, because it costs less to ship, and then I can keep my prices down. But I'm not charging enough for those printed ones because it takes a good hour or more to print them, and I have to stay near the printer. Oh, and I have to stay near the printer because if it runs out of ink or if something starts misfeeding, then I gotta figure that out. And I gotta deal with that right away, or it stops printing, and I come back and I'm like, oh man, I have to restart this. And I had like 4 printed sets to do this week. Not complaining, I'm thankful for the orders, but it's work. It's definitely work. So, if you think that my prices are too high for the printed version, remember that includes the shipping. That includes the paper, and we're talking 32-pound premium paper. And it includes the ink, and includes my time to print them. And I print them as I receive the orders for them. And then, still trying to get them out in 1 to 3 days. And then I'm freaking out because I'm like, what if I run out of ink? Because I'm all of a sudden having all these printed. It's just stressful. So what I think I'm going to do is make it so I only have a few of each printed available so that I'm not having too many come in all at once. I don't know if that makes sense. So basically, I think for the printed ones, I have like quantity of 20. But if I put like quantity of 2 for each one, then I won't have more than 8 to print at a time if one person were to order all 4 or all 8. All 4. Like if all of them got ordered all at once, I wouldn't have more than 8 to print at a time. And then I could manually renew them when I have ink and not stress about it. I don't know. What would you guys do? So yeah. If you're... Oh, Gail was so cute. She saw this one that I'm making now that has the insulator. That's what that blue thing is on there. They used to go on electric poles. So they're glass insulators. I have one here somewhere. And she has them in her, I didn't know she had them in her garden, but I knew she had some because she had a little vintage shop that, or, you know, her cinnamon tea shop. And so I knew she would have sold these. So I just, that one's just on a tag. It's not an actual page, but she saw that and she was like, how did you know I have these in my garden? I'm like, I knew you probably had some somewhere. So, yeah. And then I made sure there were a couple bunnies in there because this was inspired by Gail. She used to have her little vintage shop. She loves pinks and teals. So that's where the color concept, and then like right before, when I was almost done with the kit, getting it put together, she had a video and she was using the term vintage finds, and I'm like, oh my goodness, that is the perfect name for this kit, because I was just going to call it Things of Old, and that's lame. Vintage finds was much better, I think, personally. So I did some little samples that I sent her along with the digital kit and some other samples from my store, which of course included some bunnies. Of course. I think most of my clusters have been sold, and most of the tags I think that I had in there. Oh, I still have mixed media tag in the shop, and I still have, what is this? Oh, yep, there's still some tags in my shop and die cuts and clusters, but I will be getting more put up in my shop. And if someone orders the random medallion set, if they order something else with it, I'll try to find some medallions that go with what they ordered, because I figure that's kind of the colors they like. So I'm like, okay, what will go with these? Cutting out that butterfly. That's something you can do too. If you have the digital kit and you can make multiple copies, you can cut it down for, you can fussy cut the little pieces, and then the other parts you can use in collage or to back a tag, like the, you know, the journaling spot parts you can use to back a tag, or in collage to back a tag. And I know I don't make a lot of ephemera and stuff. The thing is, people end up with so much more ephemera left over after a kit. And I encourage people to come up with their own ideas and their own designs. I mean, that's why I have the background papers in there and the easy fussy cuts, and the hope is that you'll make it your own. And squirrel, I had to put a squirrel tag in there. There's no other animals in the whole set, but I had to put a squirrel. I'm pretty sure all my sets will have a squirrel, because, you know us artists and squirrels. I think I do actually cut that down and put that on there. I don't know. I can't remember. But Bunny, I knew she'd like the bunny. She did like that bunny. So yes, I got a nice boost in subscribers on YouTube because Gail showed my Etsy shop and also shared my channel, and definitely had a big, nice boost in Etsy sales and people favoriting my shop and favoriting some items in my shop, which will help with the algorithm as well, hopefully, on Etsy, because you know how Etsy can be. So I'm thankful. Thank you, Gail, if you ever watch this. I don't think she will, but if she ever does, I've thanked her already too. So yep, I appreciate that kind of thing. And I want to be like Gail. I want to, share other people's Etsy shops, share other people's YouTube channels, support other creators. That's the kind of person I want to be as well. So let's see. I think I had to cut that down to make it fit. Oh, now I'm going to show you the kit. This is what I sent her. It's in the bag with no sticky stuff and everything. So hopefully, I think I show them pretty good, hopefully. But she showed them as well. So if you don't see them good here, you'll see them there. So, and I actually was trying to back them the same way they were on the front, but my printer was giving me issues. So, but they'll, you'll have them, they'll still all coordinate in the same journal, no matter how you back it. If you back it with a different page or the same one, doesn't matter. Yeah, that typewriter page is my favorite. I like the fan page. She liked the bunny. I changed the bunny. He was more gray. Made him more cream color. And these greens and teals and pinks all definitely you know, influenced by Gail. And so yeah, I just take my jelly plate prints and I manipulate them in Photoshop Elements, and you know, I change their colors, add some patterns, you know, just do some different stuff. And then I like that, and I changed some colors so they'd match the kit really well. And that bunny reading, oh, some of these things were a pain to Photoshop, but I did it. All right, thank you guys. Have a delightful day. Love you.